Hello and welcome to the Open Conference on Computers in Education 2018 in Linz. On 7th of June in 1993, I was also standing in front of the audience of an IFIP conference as the chair of the organizing committee for my first time. This is 25 years ago. Let us check how many of you have been in the Gmunden conference. Can you please stand up? Look, many of you. Thank you. Applause. I ask this first to thank you for your loyalty to the endeavor to the integration of ICT in education for 25 years. And second, I do this to encourage the young scientists among us. You see, it's possible to survive 25 years. The title of the conference in 1993 has been Informatics and Changes in Learning. I can show you the book of abstracts of this year. In 1993, we discovered that ICT is an instrument to improve education. That is still true. There is still a strong relation between the progress in technology and the advancement in education. But now I think the situation has changed. Our title this year is Empowering the Learner for Life in the Digital Age. Therefore, we selected the triangle as the symbol or the icon of this year's conference. The corner of this triangle symbolizes the three important players in the digital age, and this is technology, society, and education. The sides of the triangle denote the interactions between these three aspects. Technology influences society and education. Society formulates requirements for technology, and education can use innovative technology to cope with upcoming problems. Most important, the error. The error shows that education is the best mechanism which allows us to positively control the effect of digital technology in all areas of our society. If we see this in this way, ICT education is not only one more subject in school, which maybe meets the interest of our students. It has a big impact on both the future life of our students and the development of our society. That means the work of ICT teachers matters. And what we do is more than playing, teaching and learning. It's a service to our students on one side and to the society as well. OCCE 2018 is an IFIP event. So first, welcome to the IFIP TC3 chair, Sindre Røsvik from Norway. Sindre denotes many years of his professional career to promote the life within our community. Thank you.
Thank you. It's an honor and pleasure for me as the chair of IFIP's Education Committee to welcome you all to this event. This is a special occasion. As Anton mentioned, it's 25 years since Gmunden. And we all of us who was around at that time enjoyed that conference very much. So we were very glad that Anton took on the duty to organize another conference. But first of all, I want to thank the Austrian Computer Society for inviting IFIP to hold this conference in Linz. And I'm also grateful to the local organization committee chair, Anton Knirsinger, and his team for all the work they put into the details of preparing this event. Thanks also to the International Program Committee chairs, Kathy Levin and Eric Sanchez, and the team of the international team has put the program together. I can assure you it's a big job. It's a lot of details to be handled. And together, all of you has made this conference happen. And I must say I'm looking very much forward to 4 days of interesting meetings, interesting speeches, and interesting networking. And I hope you can enjoy that together with me, so that this conference is not just a conference, but it's part of building a network. IFIP was founded in 1959 on auspices of UNESCO and the World Bank, and giving this mission to change education, actually. It's the leading multinational organization in ICT and science, with more than 3,500 professionals being personal members in IFIP. And IFIP also represents more than 40 computer societies around the world in all continents, which has more than 500,000 members. IFIP is organized in different committees. We have domain committees, which is put up to solve or answer or formulate the challenge in a certain theme, like topic like Internet of Things, health, disaster management, etc. And then we have standing committees, which is more internal committees. But finally, we have the technical committees. And the technical committees are the committees doing the work. So you are now attending a meeting or a conference for the Technical Committee of Education. There are in all 13 committees. I will not take them into details, as you got this brochure in your conference bag. But it covers everything from computer science, software, communication, ICT and society, security and privacy, artificial intelligence, and entertainment computing. TC3 used to have 7 or 8 technical committees, but we have merged them to only 4. So if you see the numbers, 3.1 was the first working group that was set up. It covered secondary education. And then we had a lot of others. Now we are left with only 4, and that is the reason for these odd numbers. Because 3.3 is research into educational application, 3.4 is professional and vocational training, and 3.7 is ICT and management. I mentioned this especially because I want you to know that we want all of you to become members of IFIP, one of the working groups, because the working groups have progress if we have new members. So we look forward to having new members. So please waive your interest if you wanted to become members in one of the working groups. They have their annual meetings today at 5 o'clock and tomorrow at 5 o'clock. You will see it in the program. Just a short remark about the title. It's empowering the learners for life in the digital age. Going back to 1995, there was a world conference, a large world conference in Birmingham, and the title was Liberating the Learner. So I'm happy to see that it's the focus on the learner, but I also want to note that there is a change from the learner learning to life skill, learners for learning for life. And that is about life skills, not only going to get education for learning a profession and etc., but it's about life skills in a digital society. Because the society has changed profoundly since 1995. It's touching every corner of our life these new technologies, which is not new anymore. I had a conversation with a young girl, a teenager, who was upset. We had a lot of problems. And I tried to explain, well, I have been a teenager yourself, even if you may not imagine it. And I have faced the same problems you are facing, with insecurity, with conflicts, with friends, etc., etc. She looked at me and posed me just one question. Did you have mobile telephone when you were a teenager? I didn't. And I think that this question should follow us through the conference, because this mobile technologies makes a difference. So let us now enjoy 4 days of learning, and let us get to know new colleagues, and let us do networking for future. Thank you.
The hosting institution of our conference is the Austrian Computer Society, OCG. The welcome of OCG comes from Ronald Bieber, the managing director. OCG covers many disciplines within ICT, but education has an important place within its scope. To characterize him, I quote, "There is no smart industry without smart education."
Absolutely correct. A very warm welcome also from my side here in Linz. It's really a pleasure for me from the Austrian Computer Society, because exactly such events, such groups, as you said already, in networking areas, that is the important for OCG, because we are an ICT, or we are the ICT platform in Austria. We are founded in 1975, was a little bit younger than the IFIP, and that was already the vision, was to enhance informatics with due regard to human and society. And now it's even, so it's not just informatics, it's ICT also came into this vision, but it's still an important thing, and it even becomes more today more important. As you said, everybody is now growing up with a mobile, and therefore it's our responsibility to teach everybody actually in digital or to be that everybody is digital competent. Therefore, the Austrian Computer Society, we started an initiative 3 years ago called Education 4.0. And this is actually built on 3 pillars. I just want to, because I have an afternoon session in the Austrian projects, I will explain that a little bit more. But the 3 pillars are: 1, media literacy, which is important. The other thing is informatics as science, or also said computational thinking, to bring it to everybody. And last but not least, digital literacy. And all these 3 pillars actually have to be implemented in schools, but also some in the working force. Yeah, maybe let me also say something that I'm very happy to have here. We have here, in the next 3.5 days, there will be 50 or even more teachers from all over Austria here. Thank you very much for the Ministry of Education for enabling that. And that's, I think, a very, very important issue to interact with the scientific world about computing in education to our multiplicator actually in schools, the teachers. So I wish you a good week and a successful week. Maybe even projects are coming up, and welcome back again to Linz.
Austria supports IFIP in many ways. Do you know that the General Secretariat of IFIP is based in Austria, in Luxembourg? The Austrian delegate to the TC3 of IFIP is Gerald Fucek. He is professor at the Technical University in Vienna, chair of working groups on education, maybe some of working groups in Austrian Computer Society, and very active in ICT computer contests for kids.
Thank you, Tony. Also welcome from my side. I am one of the delegates to IFIP TC3, to education group of IFIP, and I think it's very important that people from all countries of the world meet together and exchange their experiences. And this is what we do in this TC3 community and also in the working groups of TC3. And for me personally, it is important that we have a good ICT and informatics education. This good education is necessary for all age groups, from kindergarten to retirement. And what is a good informatics or ICT education? Maybe I say some characteristics. A good education is challenging, but it's also interesting, of course. And don't forget creativity. People want to be creative. It should be sparkling and fascinating. And why do we need such an education? It is very easy to understand daily life and to become a valuable member of society. So, this is what I think is important, and for you, I think it's important that you have a good conference here and you have good conversations, you learn from each other and meet a lot of new people. And I think that IFIP is an excellent platform to do this. Thank you.
This has been the more internal part of the ceremony. Now we come to the official part. A successful integration of digital media in education needs support. Support from society, and society represented by the elected politicians. It's my great pleasure to welcome today Regina Fechter, Counselor for Spatial Planning, Construction Matters and Traffic Matters in Linz. Today she is representing the mayor of our town. There are 3 more reasons for a warm welcome to her. First, she has been working as a teacher and headmaster of a school for many, many years, always trying to integrate ICT into her work. Second, she knows about science in IT education. I think 2 years ago, she finished her thesis for the PhD work working on didactical aspects of 3D printing. Well, okay. And third, she has been more than a leading person in the mentioned IFIP conference in Gmunden in 1993. She has been sitting at the reception desk, helping the delegates in many, many ways. That was much more difficult in that